Welcome back to Wally's World of Fishing. The SC knot is a strong, reliable braid to nylon connection with a super slim profile that slides easily through your guides. Now, it's pretty finicky to tie, but not as much as your FG knot. And to be honest, I'm hopeless at doing these kind of knots. I'm so uncoordinated and my short stumpy fingers don't help. But let's try and do one together. So grab your braid, pull out about 20 centimeters or so and fold it back round on itself so it looks like that. Then get your leader, hold it in front of your braid and pinch them down together just like that. Now what we want to do is we want to wrap this braid around the leader, depending on how thick your line is, about 15 to 20 times. But the secret is that when you wrap it around, you want to keep the wraps tight together. You don't want big gaps and you don't want your wraps to overlap. If there's gaps, the knot won't hold when you try and cinch it down. If there's any overlapping, it will increase the chance of the knot actually breaking under pressure. So let's go ahead and start wrapping the braid around the leader. So just go around once. I'm going to probably go maybe 20 times because this is quite thin line. And like I said, you want to make sure that your wraps are nice and tight together. You don't want big gaps in between the wraps. Bit of poetry for you. So I'll just keep twisting it around like so. Keep wrapping it. And I'll show you what I mean. If you look at the wraps, see how close and tight they are together? That's what you want. You want to keep doing that until you use up most of this loop here. So once you've finished doing all your wrapping, we're going to take the tag end of the leader and we're going to pass it through the loop of the braid. Just like that. And then we'll hold it and we'll pull them back all the way so your knot starts to look something like this. So what you want to do here is lubricate the knot a little bit, and then we're going to grab the tag end of your braid line. So leave the main line alone. We want to start with the tag end. And you want to start pulling on the tag end, which will start to create the knot. See how it starts to cinch down? That's a good sign when you get that. It means that your knot is going to be successful. So once you pull it nice and tight, just like that, then you can grab the main braid line and pull it down even tighter. And it will look like that. Now you see, notice how slim that is? That is really good, and that's biting into the leader line nicely. So have a look at that, just so you get an idea how nice and slim it is. That's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do now, just to get it out of the way, I'm going to trim the tag end of the leader. So I'll just snip that off, just so it's not in my way. And we're going to finish the knot off. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 half hitches. So one from beneath. So we're going to do a loop. So we create the loop that goes underneath the line. Just like that. Pull it through. And then we knot it down. So that's one. Nice and tight. And then we create a loop over the top. So just pinch your lines together, pull it the tag end through the loop, just like that. And we're gonna, just like that, we're gonna knot it down, pull it tight, bang. Now we're going to create another loop and we're going to lock this knot down. So we created a loop. Now we take the tag end and we pass it through the loop 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. And we tighten that down. Just like so. I told you I'm clumsy at this, but you know, seems to be working. There we go. All the way. There we go, nice and tight. And then we trim the tag end of the braid off, if I can find it. So we trim this off, just like that. And what we can do, you can get a lighter. I tend not to bother with it because I find it slim enough, but if you really want it super slim, just tap it up and careful not to break it off. And we can do that a bit better. We can do that a bit better. So there we go. Look at that. That is super strong. And look at how nice and thin that is. There you have it, the SC knot. Now, you saw how finicky it was. So if you want to become a master at this, I recommend you practice it a few times at home before you try doing it in the boat. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you use it. And that's another handy tip from Wally's World of Fishing.